The barn conversion took 8 weeks. Now it's a TV studio from where I interview independent sales experts, giving you the very best advice and ideas in sales and sales leadership. Welcome to Best Practice for Sales Professionals. And today I'm absolutely thrilled to meet a true entrepreneur who has incisive views of the sales profession. He left school early because he loved working and making money selling frozen chickens. After doing a business degree as a mature student, he has built, sold and bought into numerous other businesses. And he doesn't shy away from getting stuck into selling. Tom Fender, welcome to the show.
Hello, contestant Tom Fender. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. The price is right.
It's great to see you, Tom. So, Tom, you told me earlier on that you probably don't make more than 3 sales calls a day, and you love the chase. So how does that translate into winning new business for you?
Yeah, well, I guess there's people out there who are listening who are making probably 50, 60, 80 phone calls a day, and I have a huge amount of respect for them. I try and do 3 to 5 phone calls a day. I mean, I have, because I'm kind of involved in kind of other areas of the business. Sales is just an element of it. But yes, I mean, when you're making the phone calls 3 to 5 a day, I'm using them not simply to hopefully get a sale, so to speak, without being too brutally commercial, but I'm using it because I want to get intelligence. I want to use those phone calls to get feedback. I want to understand what the market is doing. I want to understand how the prospects, what they are thinking. So it's not so much a numbers game for me. It's about how can we position or possibly reposition our product or the marketing of our product to suit what the industry which we're operating in is looking for. But ultimately, if a sale comes from those, then that's absolutely terrific. So it's a number of reasons that it's almost trying to keep my hand in to do 3 to 5 phone calls a day.
Wow, excellent. That's great insight. So, thinking about this, how important is it that salespeople truly believe in the product they're selling and the company they're working for?
Well, for me, I think it's absolutely crucial. And the reason is because if we look at the person on the other side of the desk, the person who is hopefully going to be buying the product and service, what they are looking for obviously is the features and benefits of the product or the service, that they can work them out for themselves. But I also believe what they're looking for is authenticity. They're looking for that kind of passion and belief on behalf of the salesperson who is representing the company whose products or services the purchaser is about to buy, that he or she actually believe that product or service is going to work in terms of either save time or save money or make life easier or make processes more simpler. Whatever it is, they've got to feel that it isn't just another sales phone call, but actually I'm about to part with my hard-earned cash, and it is going to generate a massive positive impact on myself or my business.
I guess that authenticity has something to do with attitude. What kind of attitude challenges, issues have you come across with salespeople where you think, not sure about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was a salesperson, so I'm probably guilty of some of these myself. But I think sometimes what you do is if a bit like a football striker, you can get into a bit of a rut. You don't score the goals. Everything dries up for a little bit, and the tendency sometimes is to maybe blame the marketing or blame the lead generation support team, blame the product. Sometimes hopefully blame yourself as well. And so I think in a lot of these cases, what we need to do is just recognize that sometimes we sometimes try and force things too much. We need to go back to the tactics which we used and maybe the preparation for phone calls, the intelligence, the research which we do ahead of phone calls. Maybe what happens is we get a little bit complacent or a little bit lazy and think that sales are just sat there on a plate and we just need to make the phone call and that check will be signed. So I think sometimes we just need to slow everything down, go back to what has worked for us in the past, to redeploy the tactics and the strategies which have helped in previous weeks, periods, months, whatever the period is, and just get back to doing the great work which we used to do.
I guess that's all about ownership for salespeople. According to Tom Fender, what are the key qualities in a salesperson?
Well, the obvious ones would be kind of resilience and tenacious, but I'd also go other areas as well. First of all, I think I've mentioned kind of being inquisitive. I think that is really, really important. You have to be able to ask lots of questions. You have to be able to match your product to the needs of the industry or the organization or the person who you're selling to. I think you need to be commercial. Obviously, they will have their own sales targets, so they'll be thinking internally about commercial, but what they also need to be thinking is the kind of the commercials for the organization or the person they're selling to. How much time will it save them, and how do you convert that into money? How much money will it save them? What impact will a simplified process make? So it's putting yourselves not in your shoes, but in the possible purchaser's shoes. So I think that is another one. So kind of return on investment would be good, and being really clear and clear about how your business or your product or service will make a positive impact on their business.
And if you were to give salespeople, your top 2 or 3 tips on how to be the very best they can be, what would they be?
They have to be analytical. They have to be inquisitive. They have to be good at asking questions and probing. They need to be. They serve a very good role in giving feedback from the front line to people back at head office, actually. So I think they need to be good communicators, not just in the sales environment, but communicators to maybe their marketing teams or their product development teams. They have to be passionate. They need to be authentic. They need to be pretty diligent as well. So there's a whole host of, I think the sales role, which used to be very much around picking up the phone and hitting targets, it has become such a more sophisticated, rounded role, embracing so many more kind of executive skills and traits now than maybe historically, that it is actually a very sophisticated role, requiring a range of skills and attitudes.
Well, Tom, that's. I agree with you. I think the role used to be pretty simple and straightforward in many ways. Now, customers, of course, before they even engage with you, they probably have done their research. They already know maybe 60 or 70% of what you think they don't know, so to speak. So that consultative approach is really key.
Yeah, if I could just add one of the big things, which I think is a big trend at the moment, is around kind of personalization. So, everyone can buy, the old Gerald Ford, you can have whatever car you want as long as it's black, kind of thing. So I think the kind of trend now is people want things tailored to themselves, which actually makes life a little bit more interesting for the salesperson, who can be quite creative as well about understanding the needs of that individual organization and tailoring the core product, what they're selling. It might be 80% similar to what everyone else gets, but it's that 20% difference, which is about creativity, innovation, differentiation, personalization. That's what I think is quite exciting for a sales executive these days.
Tom, very much. I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I know you've got a busy day ahead, at least 3 calls to make. So,
no, and a few other things to do as well. Yes.
Okay, listen. I really appreciate you making the time. Thanks for coming on the show, and speak to you soon.
Thank you ever so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.